Here is a status update 1 month into Poshmark's what I like to call delisting debacle. My name is Julie. I've been successfully reselling for 25 years, and I've been successfully selling on Poshmark for many years. I'm an eBay seller, but I also sell on Poshmark. And it has been 1 whole month since Poshmark started suspending users for what they term excessive delisting. And I would like to retire the air quote Poshmark. So please, please, please let us know what's going on. Okay. Here's what I think from what I've learned has been going on with Poshmark. And this is educated discussion because between here and Instagram and Facebook, I have a lot of followers and I've gotten a lot of comments and a lot of DMs and messages from sellers about what's going on with their accounts. So in April, Poshmark announced that they were going to be suspending sellers who violate their policy of relisting items that are under 60 days old. And they said that policy would take place May 1st. On May 1st, Poshmark instituted some type of system, a bot, AI, some type of computer program to catch sellers that were delisting and relisting items that were under 60 days old. Now, why is Poshmark doing that? I really don't think it's because they just want us to sell on Poshmark. They have had cross-listing companies sponsor PoshFest. They know that lots of people sell on Poshmark as a business. They don't want to get rid of the business sellers. Trust me, we pay thousands of dollars in fees. They don't want it to just be small closets again. They get that we're businesses. They don't want us to leave. But the constant delisting and relisting by some sellers was clogging and probably jamming their servers. Now, I was relisting every 30 days, as were a lot of my friends, because it does help sales. But then sellers were taking it to an extreme, and I've heard of sellers delisting and relisting items every day, multiple times a day, which would put a strain on servers. So people were taking advantage of it, and Poshmark said enough. But whatever system they put in place on May 1st did not distinguish from sellers actually delisting and relisting, or marking for not for sale and relisting, and just took everyone who was delisting or marking items not for sale and flagging their accounts if they were doing one thing. And that one thing is that they were delisting more than they were listing. So what I think happened was, if you listed 5 things but delisted 6 things, it was flagging the system. Not every seller got caught, not every account got flagged, but sellers who delisted 1 or 2 things without listing new items were getting their account suspended. And the suspension was not a full suspension like when you got suspended from school. It was, you can't list new items. And I still recommend that you fight those suspensions, because Poshmark has been reversing them. But they're still on your record, but they're reversing them. So what I did in May, and I was on vacation a lot in May, but what I did when I was working was I made sure that on the days I was listing, I was delisting items that sold elsewhere at a lower rate than my listing. So if I listed 10 things on one day, I would delete 9 things that sold on eBay. This is craziness. I would not have your bot or your automation tool delist for you. I would do it yourself. And if you want to avoid suspension, the best thing, if you do want to delist or mark those items not for sale, is to make sure that you're not doing it more than your listing. And I would do it by the day. I don't know what their metrics are. I don't know if they're looking at weekly or monthly, but I know sellers who literally delisted 2 items and got suspended because they didn't list any new items. So that's what I think at this point. You can mark the prices up. You can mark not for sale. Those are all in violation of Poshmark's terms of service, but who knows if anyone's going to get in trouble for it. So what I'm doing is, like when I was on vacation and I was away and I wasn't listing new things, I just marked the prices up. I didn't delist anything that sold on eBay while I was still selling on eBay and my Poshmark closet was on vacation. and I didn't delist anything. I just made notes on them so that I, as a seller, could know that those items are no longer in my inventory. This is dumb, this is stupid, but this is the way it is right now. And until Poshmark changes something, my advice is to make sure you're not delisting more than you're listing on Poshmark. So if you have a whatnot show and you sold 100 things, I don't know what to tell you what to do with Poshmark, but if we learn something new this month, I will report it. Make sure you're following me.